I just got married last week. My wife and I are both in our 30s. I'm Mexican, she is American, but we both grew up in the US and both our families know both languages. My wife planned every bit of the wedding and was a very controlling and nervous bride, but alright, I get that she was stressed. During the reception I went to the band and asked them to play a song for me to sing to my new wife. It was Te Amo by Miguel Bose. It was the song from our first date in a really bad Mexican restaurant, so it became a long-standing joke between us. The guests really loved the song. My Mil cried and told me it was beautiful, but my bride seemed upset. I asked her what's wrong, and she said I'm enough for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity and not just let the band sing our song for us. Eta? NTA. What a weird way to view what happened. Agreed. Her accusation is bizarre. I'm not sure what enforce your ethnicity actually entails. I suppose she's implying that he's swinging around his heritage like some kind of weapon. NTA. NTA. You sung a song that is significant to the two of you at your own wedding. This incident on its own is a bit of a red flag that she reduced it to your ethnicity. Even ignoring that it was a song that was actually significant to the two of you, does your culture and ethnicity disappear because you married an American woman? Seems like a pretty racist reaction. I was going to say this, but you already did. Seems like a pretty racist reaction, especially the way it was worded. NTA, it's your day too, you know. She should have just appreciated the moment and sentiment and found it funny and charming that you remembered. TBH, I don't like the enforce your ethnicity bit. It sounds like she is okay with Op's ethnicity as long as Op isn't being too ethnic. I hope I'm wrong. Miguel Bose is not even Mexican. And how did this enforce your ethnicity? Half of the guests were your family, or does her side didn't know you were Mexican? She didn't want people to know that you speak Spanish? NTA. Yo le estaría preguntando exactamente qué le pasa, por su argumento no tiene ni pies ni cabeza. Gracious. I'm Mexican married to an American. Te Amo was also our wedding song, and not because it is in Spanish, or because of my ethnicity, because it is a beautiful romantic song. Op's wife is loca. NTA. It sounds like a very sweet and meaningful gesture, and your newly married bride should have been over the moon about it. You are definitely NTA. I don't think this marriage is going to last long. Good luck, Op. NTA. And this is a very weird and concerning mentality to have. Enforce your ethnicity? What the hell? The wedding is both a asterisk A and D while you are asterisk day, so you get to fill it out as well. Trying to basically minimalize your impact on your own wedding day is a special piece of Bridezilla hell. Total NTA. I believe this upset the bride simply because she thinks this will be the highlight of the wedding that everyone will remember, and that she was not involved. As he sang, I'm sure she was filled with rage viewing all the reactions from family and friends while she put on a fake smile. Her response is concerning. If she's uncomfortable with your ethnic identity, maybe you two shouldn't be married/reproduce. Unless you're uncomfortable with it too. Then the song was a really weird choice. So I'm assuming that's not the case. She said something weirdly racist at your wedding. I'd call that a red flag. If it's not the first one. You hop. If it is, maybe time for a hard conversation. Definitely NTA. Yay doesn't sound good for their marriage. Asterisk, I'm enough for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity asterisk. This sounds racially loaded, to put it mildly. I hope you aren't planning to raise kids with your wife when this is her attitude to your heritage. NTA. Can you imagine accusing a groom of taking the spotlight? It's like some people completely forget that the reason you're a bride at all is because that spotlight stealing partner married your dumbass. NTA. Unfortunately, from day one, or before you found that she can be controlling and needs tons of external validation. Sadly, this does not bode well for your marriage. I wish you the best, brother. Do not have a baby with her right away. You may find out that this is not going to last. Sorry. At the very least, start he should saying stuff like, I plan on teaching our kids Spanish in our home and other things that may trigger this same kind of reaction. Better to know now, if Op doesn't already, after reading these comments and thinking about his previous interactions with her in a new light. NTA, but this is a huge red flag, Imo. She said I'm enough for taking the spotlight to enforce my ethnicity and not just let the band sing our song for us. Exactly. Was she thinking that nobody had noticed that he is Mexican? What a load of nonsense. There must be more to that comment. It makes no sense. It was a beautiful gesture and NTA. NTA, but you most likely just married someone with racist tendencies. Good luck. NTA, how could you possibly know some fun memory of your first date with your wife would actually upset her on your wedding day? It was a sweet thing to do for her, a show of love at an event meant just for that. Wow / WTF about her ethnicity comment. She's got stuff to explore for herself about her own issues with her / your heritage, it seems. For one, it was your own wedding too, and you can do what you like, so NTA. But enforce your ethnicity, WTF. What an awful day to learn your now wife is racist. Edit. I no longer feel the need to ask if she's normally like that. To be honest, it doesn't matter. It's not acceptable at any point. If it comes out so easily once, you can bet it's constantly swimming around in there. Enforce my ethnicity. NTA, and you just married a racist. My thought as well. When I first read this caption, I thought, oh, maybe he can't sing. But then when she said that he is enforcing his ethnicity, I thought, oh no. That is very racist. Op really needs to keep his eyes wide open. This is a big red flag. Wow, using ethnicity as a reason to be upset. Big red flag. You really need to pay attention to these things in the near future, especially before you consider having kids. I mean, do you want your future kids to be judged by your wife's ethnicity standards in the future? I think you married a covered racist. Reinforcing your ethnicity sounds like a real peach. Best of luck. NTA, sounds like she's racist and this is an assumption, but I wouldn't be surprised if she'd pull the "you're not like the others" or "you're pale" mestizo, but I'm sure she doesn't know that word, so you're okay comments. I'm sorry your super sweet gesture went unappreciated. You did nothing wrong. She tried to pass him off as Whitish or Mexican light at the wedding. When he sang that song, it was basically like publicly advertising. Spotlight comment. How very Mexican he was, so her dreams of a Whitish wedding went poof. She was ashamed or embarrassed at that moment, and that's why she made that comment on enforcing your ethnicity. NTA. She seems to have forgotten that weddings are about both people. Wow. NTA at all. She showed her true colors, and now you know what type of person you are married to. Enforce my ethnicity. That line sits really uncomfortably with me. She's marrying all of you, the good bits and hopefully, tolerable bits. It's disconcerting that she doesn't want your ethnicity to be on show when it is an intrinsic, and let's face it, as visible as a nose on your face, part of you. NTA. Info. Has your wife always been racist? To enforce your ethnicity? Wow. NTA. NTA. It must be awful to realize your new wife is a racist deep down. Yikes opus. I just went to the coolest Blaxican wedding ever. Bride was Black American, groom Mexican American, and it had the perfect blend of both cultures, from the music to the food, to the traditions incorporated. And of course some American, because they both are. It was healthy, it was well planned out, it included them both. It makes me really sad you naturally created that with just you and the special song and then were chastised for it. As an Afro-Latina myself, I'm honestly baffled that's how she views your culture and natural expressions of it. I get she was stressed, but what an awful and racist red flag to pop out when she didn't control just a couple minutes of the event. I wonder how many times before she's resented your ethnicity and felt you were weaponizing it for attention when you were just being you. NTA. One of my Mexican friends married a man from India. That buffet at the reception was so delicious. One side of the room had Mexican food and the other Indian. It was great. Taking the spotlight. It was your wedding, to right. I think you singing to her was more meaningful than the band singing. NTA. I think it's very telling that she commented on "forcing ethnicity." I mean, if you have children, will she say you are forcing them to be Mexican? No, because they are actually Mexican. NTA, but she is. NTA, that was sweet of you. And why shouldn't you bring a little of your ethnicity into the wedding? It's about families coming together. WTF, I'd go for annulment. NTA. NTA. You're Mexican, she's American. Miguel Bosé is from Spain. He's popular in many Spanish speaking countries. I think you have a case of main character syndrome on your hands. Perhaps she thought you took the attention away from her. Sadly, as many people have mentioned it, she may be a covered racist. Either way, reflect on your relationship and look if there were other red flags. I would recommend marriage counseling.